Welcome to Foire. That's From Under a Rock, the podcast where we pick a movie that one or more of us has not seen by now and watch them and rate them, bringing them out from under the proverbial rock.
Rock.
This week's selection, picked by our own James Jooms McDoodles McAnally.
Yes,
Say hello, James.
That's true. Hello. How's it going?
Was Blazing Saddles.
Yes. Love that movie.
Sitting on James's left, we have the one and only Steven.
Thought
I'll
you're-
let him introduce himself.
Steven Zarita.
You can't make your own applause.
Yeah. Hey guys, I'm Steven Zarita.
The audience is breathless.
The two fans who you're their favorite personality on the podcast are at home clapping right now.
Thank you. Keep it up.
To
I'm
be
here
fair,
all-
we only have two fans.
I know.
so-
You
So I
are
have
the
100%.
unanimous favorite.
Who else is here?
That is the voice of...
Michael Ornelas, a.k.a. Mike Bourbon.
What's up, Mike?
Woo,
Attaboy. And I am Ryan Evans.
So Blazing Saddles, for those of you who haven't seen it, is a movie by Mel Brooks. Came out in, I think, 1974, if I remember correctly.
I'll fact check.
And basically, the whole plot is a black sheriff has to go into this town, Rock Ridge, and basically deal with the citizenry being super racist against him and like not liking him at all. To going from that point to saving the town from this land grabber, Hedley Lamar, who is the antagonist. One of my actually my favorite character in the entire movie is Hedley.
It's Hedley Lamar.
One of my favorite comedies, definitely my favorite Mel Brooks movie. You know,
It's very meta.
It's very liberal with its use of the N-word, its use
Oh,
of
yeah.
Every- every
actually,
artist.
upon rewatching it, that word was not used nearly as much as I remember it being used. I can definitely see how people find it offensive. I can get that. I don't think it's offensive at all. A lot of people will view like certain topics as inherently bad or something you shouldn't touch on.
It was like taboo,
rape,
you know?
racism, all these sexism, stuff like that. But it's all about how you frame it. And if you're framing the people who are ignorant about those things as the butt of your joke, as opposed to actual black people or victims of rape or women or gays or whoever.
Yeah.
Like it's who you're framing the butt of your joke, the victim of your joke, and you can it's just satire otherwise.
Well, and
Yeah. I think one reason it can get away with that is it does set up like, okay, this is actually the Old West and these are things that happen. So we're really, like you said before, Michael, we're just making fun of things that happened. Nobody right here in the theater, please don't get offended because this isn't you. But just the fact, like if it wasn't in the Old West setting, it wouldn't have worked as well, and I could see where more people would get offended. I'm sure people are going to get offended no matter what.
well, it's also the type
but-
of humor.
Yeah.
It's like a cartoon come to life, and that's like one of my favorite types of comedy. Michael, we were talking about in particular, like of the same vein as Naked Gun and all of those. Leslie Nielsen, Airplane. I just love the ridiculousness of basically making a cartoon in real life.
At the end of the movie, they get really meta, and it ramps up a little slowly. It starts off where they say, with the plot of we have to build a fake town, and there's a wide shot of the town, and it's like just the storefronts, and you see the rest propped up on stilts. And I'm thinking, you know what? That's probably the actual set they used for the real town. They actually just got a wide shot of their real set. Well, that's kind of meta if you think about it. The camera zooms out and you see the entire town.
You see
and then
Burbank.
it zooms out more and you see the Warner Brothers studios in
The water
Burbank,
tower.
California, and the tower and the hills, and they just show the whole this is happening on a set.
Yeah, and then it goes into another movie for like a second.
And it gets even more meta with in the movie. They start watching the movie that they're in at the Grauman's Chinese Theater, which they kind of do in Spaceballs. So maybe
Yeah.
Mel Brooks is a fan of that.
To me, he's almost like a little kid sitting in the director's chair. Oh, I bet like the set designers just put that pool there, and Mel Brooks saw it, and he's like, "Hey, what if these two gay guys started getting in the pool and synchronized swimming?" And
yeah.
it's he's kind of a hyperactive filmmaker.
I thought the jokes. Yeah, I noticed that a lot of the jokes were kind of long, and the movie would focus more on the jokes than the story. But the what was it? Von Stoop, that was like the one time I thought, okay, this is actually dragging on a lot because like her song was kind of funny, but you got the point pretty quick and it kept going.
I think of her and I think of Mongo.
Which one was Mongo?
The
the really
yeah.
big guy who with the rides the
Mongo
ox.
only pawn in Game of Life.
I actually really liked him.
which was
Yeah.
great. Yeah,
They don't have
they're not so
growth,
much. Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
They
Their
are a
only
joke.
purpose
Yeah.
is to meet Sheriff Bart and then come around to him. You know. And
Yeah,
realize
he
he's not so
changes
bad.
them, and yeah,
Shows
Shows how good of a guy
and then
he
they're
is.
they become loyal to him, but then they immediately afterwards, it's like they've served their purpose and they just drop off.
one joke, recurring joke, and I think this is something you could never get away with today with animal rights, was just all the horse stunts that they have in this movie.
Yes.
And like
Horses getting punched and falling in
Falling
ditches.
into
I
Yeah.
loved the punch to the face of the horse is probably my favorite visual.
because when it's on the ground, the horse's face is like his eyes are wide open, like ah.
some great horse acting,
know.
as you said.
Yeah, I was just asking about characters is because Headley is easily my favorite, and as far as like being just regularly like consistently funny to me.
You know who he reminded me of? The host at the restaurant in Ferris Bueller's Day Off, where he claims to be the Sausage King of Chicago,
I
Abe
love-
Froman.
We could talk about this at length as well, I think, but that sort of demasculinated British character, you know, or maybe it's the Britishness that demasculates.
Emasculate.
Thank you.
Yeah.
There's a
Wait,
word for it.
Does demasculating then make you more masculine?
No.
If emasculating
It's
makes
just
you
not a
less.
no,
word.
I just
It's
I'm gonna
just
go
not a
by
word.
that from now.
I was
on.
just making up a
All
word.
right. Okay. They rescue the sheriff right before he's about to be hung, and the guy who's doing the hanging is dressed as a medieval knight. Is the joke that what's a medieval knight doing in the Wild West? Is that the entire joke?
I thought it was a little over the top
Yeah.
for sure.
It was just it didn't fit.
I thought it was just like, oh, we need an executioner.
Well,
You
they
know,
hung
the
people
most
back
famous
then.
executioners were in medieval times, so we'll just make him one as well.
Yeah,
That's
it
kind of what it
didn't
was
move
for
me.
me.
I love the term "the most famous executioners." It's like you idolize these people, Ryan. Like, oh man, his
who is
kill
that?
streak was legendary.
Who's that
man.
one guy? The headsman. That's what I was thinking.
Oh
of
man, he
first.
had so many nicknames. He
It's
was a
Headley,
Headley.
not Headsman.
I still
Those
wanted
points.
to talk a little about just the Waco Kid, other than
Oh, yes, please.
other than just saying he's my favorite
Please.
character.
Oh, his setup and
Well, he seemed the most human, the most
Yeah.
like despite having like this extraordinary ability and being Gene Wilder, who's just funny as hell.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was the most relatable character for me. He was so like he was that surrogate for the audience.
yeah.
That
he's
that frame of
he's not
mind.
really he sees the sheriff as another human being. He's not racist at all. He's a
Yeah,
normal
yeah.
person. What we'd consider a normal person.
Other than Mongo, who goes from like being a brute to a philosophical person.
In like one
In like
sentence.
one line. Yeah, I would say that he's definitely the most relatable and believable, and the only one with growth.
I feel without him, this movie is not historically relevant. I feel
Oh,
like
yeah.
without his character, this movie doesn't hold up. One of the funniest lines in the movie to me is also, check this out. You're steady as a rock, but this is my shooting hand.
Yeah.
And his
There's so
other
many
hand
good
is
visual
waving like
gags.
crazy.
Yeah.
Let's rate it.
Yeah,
I'm done. Yeah. Who's going first?
I'll go first. Yeah, I'm very biased because I absolutely love this movie, but I think as far as actually rating it, standing up among others, I'm gonna have to be a little bit less nice. But that being said, it is one of my favorite movies of all time, or at least one of my favorite comedies of all time. Definitely my favorite Mel Brooks. But you guys have made some really good points, so I'm going to go ahead and give this one a B+.
There's a lot of great gags, but when they're all thrown together, they just don't make the most compelling movie. And for me, that adds up to a B.
Pretty much, I echo Ryan's thoughts. It was too many gags, not enough servicing the characters in the story for what I would have wanted. So a lot of the gags were funny. Some of the characters were likable and funny and compelling. But for me, it adds up to a B-.
I appreciate the meta when they're showing the studios. I thought it was meta when I was like, is that the Vasquez Rocks back there? Is that where Kirk fought the lizard and the Power Rangers fought the putties? Yes, it is. But I'm going to have to give it a solid B.
Well,
I think that's
a B.
it. Yeah.
Awesome.
Steven and I nailed it.
For Blazing
Oh,
Saddles,
high five.
guys.
B for Blazing Saddles. No saddles were on fire.
That's true. Actually,
Of
not
all-
once
like,
in the movie.
I'm not even like I'm serious. Like in the chaos, I really wish they would have had just like a horse on fire with all the
Steven
horse
was on the
stunts.
lookout.
With all the horse stunts, I really
Well,
wanted
for
a
a
man
grand
on
finale,
fire.
we're gonna light a horse on fire.
Are horses being blown up not enough for you?
That's true.
So I think that's going to do it for this week's episode. If you liked it, if you appreciated us, give us a subscribe and rate us on iTunes. We'd really like to hear your feedback.
And if you hate us, subscribe ironically.
Thank you once again for joining us for another episode of
From Under a Rock.
Hey guys, thanks for watching an episode of
From Under a Rock. This was James's episode. It was Blazing Saddles.
Yes.
If you liked what you heard, you can listen to the full podcast. The link is in the description below. And let's see, we have videos coming out every week. I think 4 videos a week now, so be sure to hit the subscribe button over there, and so you don't miss a single one of those.
Here, guys.
Oh,
Thank you. Thanks for watching.
Cheers.
I was going to put it straight in your mouths. There's going to be more team.
I'm okay with this.
team based. I'm sure you are.
All right, see you next week.